In this brief video presentation, I would like to discuss the topic of cognitive interviewing. Cognitive interviewing is a memory retrieval procedure designed to enhance the recall when interviewing a victim or witness. Cognitive interviewing requires the full cooperation of the subject and is best done in a quiet, private environment. The investigator should offer the subject some basic theory of the cognitive interviewing process so they understand what's going on. Here's an example. Sally, I'd like to go over this incident with you in a little different way. It's a technique called cognitive recall and will help you remember things easier. Have you ever heard a song on the radio and associated that song with maybe a past friend or a family vacation? You see, different parts of the brain respond to different stimuli. When you hear something, that sound is processed in a different area of the brain than when we see or touch something. So rather than focusing on specific details, I'm going to ask you some questions that will help stimulate memories of the event. This works best when a person is completely relaxed, so you may want to close your eyes, simply listen to my questions, and say whatever comes to mind. Okay? Stage 1 is called recreate feelings or strong impressions of the event. The interviewer should start out by asking the victim or witness what part of the event or incident he or she best remembers. The interviewer would ask specific questions to elicit sensory experiences of the incident, such as, how did you feel? What did you hear? Were you holding anything? These questions are intended to stimulate different neural pathways: emotional, auditory, kinesthetic. Stage 2 is called recollection of the event. During this stage, the victim or witness is asked to recall all the occurrences of the event in chronological order, irregardless of the significance of what happened. We don't want them to leave anything out. This is a free-flowing account without any interruption to clarify points or to check on accuracy of their statement. An example of this question may sound something like this. Okay, Sally, you were chewing gum and holding your purse. You heard traffic sounds in the background and it was just starting to get dark. Tell me everything that happened from the beginning to the end once you left the building. Following this recall, the interviewer should focus the witness's attention on certain aspects of the experience using past experience questions such as, did this person remind you of anyone that you know? Did this individual talk like anyone you know or anyone that you've heard? What do you think the man did for a living? Did this person mention any names? Did this person mention any places? These types of questions may stimulate forgotten material in an indirect manner. For example, the victim may originally not be able to recall what the robber was wearing, but when asked what occupation she thinks the individual held, the witness might state, a delivery man. Or when asked who the person reminds them of, they might say, the Rock. These answers obviously are not going to be interpreted literally, but rather serve as signal cues to assist recall. The delivery man answer may now allow the witness to remember that the robber was wearing coveralls. The reference to the Rock may stimulate the memory that the individual was very muscular. Stage 3 is called reversal recall of the event. During this stage, the victim or witness is asked to recall in reverse order what happened during the event. It is sometimes practical at this stage to start the witness out at a significant aspect of the incident and work backwards from there. The following is a suggested way to introduce this reverse recall. What I'd like you to do now is to tell me everything that happened in reverse order, like playing a videotape backwards. You are laying on the ground in the parking lot. Tell me everything that happened in reverse order. Stage 4 is called recall the incident from another person's perspective. By asking the witness to relay the incident from another person's perspective, further memories may be stimulated. In a homicide case, for example, the witness may be asked to relate what he thinks the victim saw and heard. In the victim example we've been using, Sally may be asked to tell the story from the eyes of the person who attacked her or from the person who was standing across the parking lot observing what happened. In situations where a victim or witness is cooperative and reasonably untraumatized, Cognitive interviewing techniques, generally speaking, produce more accurate and greater amounts of information than traditional questioning techniques of simply asking who, what, when, where, why. For a much more detailed explanation of the cognitive interviewing process, I would urge you to consult the article, The Cognitive Interview Method of Conducting Police Interviews, Eliciting Extensive Information and Promoting Therapeutic Jurisprudence by Fisher and Gieselman, the two gentlemen who basically developed the cognitive interview process. Thank you very much for taking a few minutes to listen to this video presentation.